Build your own Dan Fang. It's better than being it. Living under the same roof, making a living. Danfuo Tower, second floor, in a hall specially designed to receive distinguished guests. A person in a brocade robe, Nanziu, whose face resembled jade, sat at the top. Her posture was ethereal, like that of a celestial being. But there is a hint of arrogance in their expression. Tong Zhanghui wore a beaming smile, standing in front of this southern repair, said respectfully, translation error, Zio Ren Tong Jinging. It is the proprietor of Danfu Building. This brocade-robed Nan Zi was sent by the Zhenang sect, under the orders of Elder Feng Niemen, come to investigate the remnants of the Demon Gate. Power is immense. Tong Jinging is the manager of Danfu Tower, but in front of this instigator, it's just a matter of standing and talking. This glance directed at Manager Tong said lightly, Danfu Tower has its ear to the ground. Recently in Yulin Town, is there something suspicious? Manager Tong thought to herself, 10 nights ago, a ghost has come to collect a debt, also killed a servant. However, it has been quiet these past few days. Jai Shi waved his hand. I didn't come to catch the ghost. Is there more? Manager Tong pondered for a moment, shaking his head. There is indeed none left. Master of manipulation. Yulin Town, Tianpi Pingji. The remnants of the demon sect are coming. It shouldn't have come to this. He tapped his fingers on the table, suddenly said, I heard about this northern wilderness trial. The high-quality King Feng umbrellas that were purchased. Most of it comes from your place. Tong Zhanghui stands upright. This is when I finally understood. The reason for sending someone to find him. Hastily said, Master of manipulation. However, this happened. Those high-quality King Feng umbrellas. It was sold to us by an umbrella repair alchemist. William's commanding gaze. Umbrella repairer. What an extraordinary skill. Tong Zhanghui respectfully replied. Should be the third layer of weapon forging. First-rank alchemist. Such low cultivation. Unexpectedly able to refine a King Feng umbrella comparable to a second-grade spiritual pill. The person asked again, what else is special? Manager Tong thought for a moment and said, Jai Shi Da Ren, I find this person very ordinary. Only became a first-tier Dan master at nearly 40. He can forge a high-quality King Feng umbrella. It should be a vigorous resurgence. But the follow-up lacked strength. Jai Shi looked at him. How to explain this? Tong Zhanghui said, that day I asked him, can it be done within 7 days? Refine high-quality spiritual blood elixir. He said he couldn't do it. It seems they have just become a Dan master, only able to refine the spirit umbrella. That being said, it's pretty much the same as an ordinary umbrella. The coldness in the eyes gradually dissipated. Seems to have lost interest in Yulin Town. Got up and walked outside. Tong Zhanghui quickly bowed and saluted. Please take your time, my dear. The straight mirror directly revealed Danfu Tower. Look at the umbrella repairers coming and going around. Shakes head dismissively. Senior sister is really overthinking. This small Yulin Town. What secrets can the magic door hold? That's it. Return to the sect and report. After finishing, a move with the right hand. The light flickers. A colorful flying sword appeared. This immediately drew gasps from the surrounding passers-by. Donpin flying sword, Ziyang brocade robe, is an intersect disciple of Jinyang. Oh my! Ants, this is just a cold snort. Under the envious gaze of the umbrella repairman, with an elegant posture, she stepped onto the flying sword, suddenly rose from the ground, flying away with a sharp sound of slicing through the air. Only a brilliant radiance remained along with gasps all around. Sometimes at quarter past. Qin Zhengyan returned to Jeyu Alley. I also gained 5 vitality fruits. This is what he bought on his way back after the gathering. To refine the blood coagulation pill, you need blood coagulation grass and vitality fruit. Last night, Qiuzhi promised to help him cultivate the coagulation grass. Huo Kai Guo is a common medicinal material. One snack can buy 5 pieces. There's no need to trouble Qiuzhi he. Walking into Jeyu Alley, just about to return to my rented apartment, I saw Mo Zialan's door across the street. Meng Yu was still sitting at the door. It seemed like waiting for a whole day. Qin Zhengyan thought for a moment, approached and asked, "Dream fellow, what are you doing?" Meng Yu looked up, bruised and battered. He grinned. "I will wait for Mo Deyu to return. Apologize to him by bowing." Then you can wait slowly." Qin Zhengyan curled his lips, forces a smile. This dream rain doesn't know what kind of heartless wind has changed. As if they had become a different person. You should pay more attention later, in case it poses a threat to Mo Deyu. Back home, the River of Autumn has finished cooking the porridge. Seeing him enter the room, served him a bowl. "Let's eat." "Okay." Qin Zhengyan smiled and nodded. "Sit down and have dinner by the Autumn River. You said yesterday, 'I want to give a gift to my friend Mo, to show gratitude.'" The River of Autumn suddenly said, "I have decided what to give as a gift." "What to send?" Qin Zhengyan said earnestly. He mentioned something while working last night. The River of Autumn paid no heed, and never brought it up again. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Qiuzhi took the initiative to speak. "Yet I see the River of Autumn." He took out 3 spirit herbs from somewhere, put it on the table. "Inksukao." Qin Zhengyan woke up in surprise. "Autumn Path friend, in just one day, 3 plants of hemostatic grass have been cultivated. These 3 blood-clotting herbs, spiritual energy of 400 million. Clearly better than ordinary coagulation grass. The quality is much higher. Not only fast, and the quality is high. Autumn Path friend, you are truly fast and excellent." Qin Zhengyan gave a thumbs up to the river Chankyu. He looked expressionless. Hastily said again, "But if the coagulation herb is not refined into a pill, the utility is not high. Directly send it to Mo Deyu." "That might not be appropriate. The River of Autumn flows gently. You have refined the blood coagulation pill. Send it to him." Qin Zhengyan was taken aback. "San Dao, Qiu Dao Yu, your idea is not bad. Mo Zialan usually helps herself a lot. Send him 3 blood coagulation pills. It's worth this sentiment. A seed." "Qiuzhi," he added. "Only 1 is given." Qin Zhengyan finished speaking, then saw the cold gaze of Qiuzhi he. He quickly nodded. "Good. I'll listen to you. Just give 1. Qin Zhengyan's intuition. "Can't be in front of Qiu Dao Yu. Continue to mention Mo Zialan. Let's change the topic. Today, Yang Fengshen inexplicably mentioned, 'Let yourself clean up,' regarding the matter of Dan. I think it's Yang Fengshen. He wanted to steal the Dan furnace and sell it. Then they want me to take the blame. Fortunately, I was cautious. In front of everyone, I returned the key to Dan. Just don't know. Who will he find to be the scapegoat this time?" Qin Zhengyan was speaking respectfully. The River of Autumn has risen. Took the bowl away from in front of him. "Qiu Dao Yu, I haven't finished eating yet." Qiuzhi glanced back at him. "This porridge is something I learned to make today. Not tasty." Qin Zhengyan then realized. The ingredients cooked in this porridge tonight It is indeed different from usual. It's over. My wife made a new dish. I can't believe I never noticed." He hurriedly said, "Keu, I'm sorry. Thinking about other things. I didn't notice you. Made new kanji. Let me try it again. The river of autumn flows gently. Mo Dao Yu has returned." Qin Zhenyan turned around and looked through the window. Indeed, I saw Mo Xiaolan standing in front of the door across the street, waiting for his dream at the door. Stand up immediately. With a thud, he knelt down, shouting things like, "Please forgive me." It seems this dream speaks. He really wanted to apologize to Mo Xiaolan. Is it because her spirit dog is lost? Stimulated. Just go crazy like this. Qin Zhenyan was deep in thought. A cold voice like ice echoed in my ears. "It's time to refine the elixir." Qin Zhenyan turned around. Only Autumn River walked out of the kitchen, not even giving him a glance. Jing Jai walked to the bedside and sat down. "What Kyudao friend reminds is, I will start refining the elixir now." Qin Zhenyan bowed and apologized to Menqiu, returned to her own room. No harm came to Mo Xiaolan. He felt relieved. Respond with a sound. Entering the kitchen, then he popped his head out again. "Autumn deist friend, I will go find the landlord tomorrow. Rent a big house with a separate shower room. It's like alchemy. How are you?" Kyujai, he let out a sigh, sitting cross-legged on the bed. "Close your eyes." Qin Zhenyan smiled. Sitting cross-legged in alchemy. As before, tonight he will attempt to refine the spiritual elixir, skillfully ignite the elixir, Jiang Nixu grass and Huoki fruit, into the pill furnace, pick up the fire-controlling spirit fan, gently fluttering. The divine stone entered through the furnace. Soon the coagulant herb and vitality fruit transformed into a medicinal liquid. Qin Zhenyan's long and slender divine stone, like flexible fingers, insert into the medication solution. A wave of fluctuation began to dig in, skillfully remove the impurities from the solution, dug it out from the outer room. Qiu Zhai, he sat cross-legged on the bed. Beautiful long hair sways without wind, gradually turned red, and weirdly turned white again. His body trembled slightly. The figure slowly grew taller. Her figure gradually became fuller. 3 hours later, it is already midnight. The scent of the autumn river is clear. The wind stopped and the sound faded away. Long hair falls down, turned back to black. The figure also transformed back into a petite and delicate form. He opened his eyes. Whispers linger. Reached the third level of Kai refinement. The fire is easier to control. Power of the mysterious ice. He has returned to his body. However, there are a few parts of my body that are out of control. The river of autumn bows its head, watching the mountains and rivers grow larger. A moment of silence. Get out of bed. I glanced towards the kitchen. Reach your hand to the lower back. Gently pinched. Reaching out with fingers. Those two half shapes. From the honey peach. Transformed into a honeydew melon. There's too much meat. Qiu Zhai, he felt a bit troubled. Keu Liu. At this moment, Qin Zhenyan ran out of the kitchen, holding a pill that sparkled with tiny glimmers. This elixir is about the size of a thumb. The entire body is blue, uniform shape, aura overflowing, clearly of much higher quality than an ordinary first-grade elixir. Nen Sai Dan. It was perfected on the first attempt. Qin Zhenyan smiled with delight. It was already prepared. Preparation for failing 2 to 3 times. But I didn't expect that. This time I succeeded at last. It seems that a few days ago, the forging of 200 batches of King Fengsan, it truly solidified his foundation in the Dan path. The foundation is solid. Keep going up. Things will be twice as effective with half the effort. The river of autumn only glanced. Pour gently. Too slow. Qin Zhengyan was astonished. This is a magic elixir. It's not dispersed spirit. 3 hours and 15 minutes. It's already very fast. Qiuzhe snorted. The worst alchemist among us. In 1 hour, 3/4 can be refined. So soon, Qin Zhengyan's joy instantly faded. It seems I have been looking at the world from the bottom of a well. No longer be so conceited. Qin Zhengyan bowed at the autumn river. Thank you for the reminder. Qiu Dao Yu. I'll go refine it again. After speaking, he walked into the kitchen. 2 hours have passed. Qin Zhengyan dragged his weary body. Step out of the kitchen. But there was satisfaction on her face after the enhancement. He will do it within 2 hours. Successfully refined a blood coagulation pill, although it still can't compare to the river gate of autumn, the worst alchemist, but ultimately it is steadily improving. At this moment, Qin Zhengyan's spiritual power and divine sense, completely exhausted. The river of autumn has fallen asleep, so there was no further discussion. Took off the outer garment. Sleep as soon as my head hits the pillow. As he let out a faint, silly sound, the river of autumn quietly opened its eyes. Moments later, in the room on the left across the street, 3 wails suddenly echoed. Pain. It's too painful. It is the senior calling us. Senior, we're coming right away. You have received divine powers, haven't you? Injin. When the night is at its deepest. Ling Dan Fan. Yang Fengshen was dressed in all black. Black gold masked face, infiltrating the elixir workshop, after confirming that no one was in the alley, arriving at that tavern. Unlocked the door with the key. During the daytime when off work, he found a reason. Tonight, quietly drag away the bronze furnace and the spiritual fan. Take it to the night market. Find the dealer we had contacted earlier to sell it. Tomorrow after the morning roll call. The Dan furnace and spirit fan have been stolen. Fang Kao with the key in hand. Nature has become the scapegoat. Sell this Dan furnace. The wealth is all gathered together. As for Elder Fan, who cares about him? Yang Fengshen placed the spiritual fan into the alchemy furnace. Then he huffed and puffed as he lifted the Danlu, exited Lingdan workshop. Chendeyu, I can finally marry you. Yang Fengshen felt excited. The footsteps came to a halt. Suddenly, 3 figures in black robes appeared ahead. Dietary 3 principles. In an alley just outside Lingdan Fang. Zhou before the second. Sun San knelt before the red-haired female cultivator. Respectfully said, Senior, it has been taken care of as you instructed. The red-haired female mage waved her hand. The little person takes their leave. The 3 clasped their fists together, quickly got up and left. Quickly returning to Jeyu Alley, entered the room. Gao Yi scratched his head. Why does the senior want us to teach a useless person a lesson? Kayan Erdao, predecessors act with wisdom. How could we possibly see through this? As instructed by the senior, focusing on your work is. Zhao Yi stared at him. Damn you, Mom. That kid only knows how to flatter all day. Yet Sun San beside him remained silent. Couldn't help but ask. Sun San, what are you thinking about again? Sun San looked up, with a look of confusion on their face. I can sense the aura of my senior. It seems there has been a change. Zhao Yi and Kayan are exchanged a glance. Lower your voice. What has changed? Sun San said seriously and loudly. The senior has become even more elegant and dignified, even if I haven't been poisoned by the heart's venom. In this life, I am willing to courageously follow the guidance of my seniors, sworn to never change. Zhao Yi and Cayenne were stunned. Sun San, you are so shameless. I am the only loyal dog of the senior. You can't take my position. Let's duel. Let's see who is the strongest servant of the senior. One day, Qin Zhengyan wakes up. Qiu beside me is still asleep. Qiu Deayu's schedule is quite unpredictable. Sometimes I wake up very early. Sometimes I go out alone. He hasn't gotten up yet. Every night, Qiu Daiyu goes to bed around the same time. Wake-up time shouldn't be this irregular. Probably tortured within the demon gate. It may cause some internal chaos. Qin Zhengyan did not wake up Qiu. Gently get up. Go to the kitchen and get dressed. I went out and bought some steamed buns. Leave half for Qiu Zhai. He left home, arriving at Lingdon workshop, but the street was extremely noisy. A group of people gathered around that room, just pointing fingers at the front, looking quite excited. Qin Zhengyan walked over to take a look. Suddenly opened his eyes wide. In single vision, Yang Fengshen was completely bare, tied to the bronze furnace, covered in bruises all over. It looks extremely tragic. The most embarrassing thing is, so many people are watching. He hasn't woken up yet. Head bowed down. Drool trickled from the corner of his mouth. It seems like I slept quite soundly. Kim Jong-un was shocked. Pang Pang excitedly watched in front of him. Wang Dayu. What is going on? Wang Ping was excited, his face flushed red. Whisper words. I don't know either. It started like this as soon as I arrived in the morning. Feeling relaxed right. Beside her, Zhu Lai chuckled softly. Xu Chang. Extremely comfortable. At that moment, Yang Fengshen finally woke up, opening my eyes in a daze. He saw the people surrounding him. He looked down at himself again. It seems they finally remembered their situation. Suddenly screamed. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. How could this happen? He is a monk. A regular rope can't hold him. Strained to break the ropes on my body. Fell to the ground. Hands covering the body. My clothes. Where are my clothes? Yang Wanshi. Just wear mine first. Fang Keo took off his outer coat. Hand it to Yang Fengshen. Yang Fengshen took over. Hurry and put it on. The onlookers shouted. What are you looking at? No more work. Be careful not to lose your points. Khan, what's going on? The homeowner has arrived. I saw the crowd gathered in front of the old single room. I saw Yang Fengshen again. That pitiful appearance. Frowned and asked, Master, not. It's nothing. It's nothing. We are playing. Yang Fengshen felt guilty. Quickly said, Pack up. Hurry, come help me refine the elixir. Peidayu said coldly, turned and entered the alchemy chamber. Everyone dispersed. Yang Fengshen hastily wrapped Fang Keo's outer garment tightly, quickly entered the alchemy room. Qin Zhengyan originally intended to go outside to the alchemy room, use spiritual awareness to sneak in and eavesdrop a bit. But thinking about it, the landlord has not been in a good mood lately. What if he finds out? Another troublesome matter. Then they gave up this dangerous thought. Cleaning the yard by oneself. Wan Ping and Zhu Lai. These two gossipers gathered around. He smiled darkly. Kindayu, do you know? What secrets did we hear last night? Last night? Qin Zhengyan understood. You went to the Red Mansion again. A place like the Red Chamber. Mixed fish and dragons. News travels the fastest. Usually, Wan Ping and Zhu Lai. You often hear some secrets inside. Zui Zai liked to show off and discuss in front of Qin Zhengyan. Seeing the two of them, Qin Zheng said, "You can guess. Last night, the two of them went to a red building again. Ah, Qin Daiyu is indeed our confidant." Wang Ping laughed heartily. "Last night, I went with Zhu Daiyu to a red mansion to listen to music. Listen to the courtesan from Tianang City, mentioning some secrets of the northern wilderness trials." Zhu Lai took over the conversation, mysteriously speaking. "The northern wilderness trials will begin in 7 days. Disciples under the Jinyang sect, but were complaining about the issued talismans and elixirs. They are all of low quality. There was even a use of first-grade spirit powder, the substitute for the second-grade elixir. The disciples were all skeptical. Is the person in charge of purchasing embezzling funds?" Qin Zhengyan felt a stir in his heart. Testing the path. Did the courtesan say anything? What low-grade elixir was used to replace the second-grade spirit pill? Wang Ping shook his head. This wasn't mentioned. "Qin Daiyu, do you still not understand? The homeowner's big deal with the 200 ice clear pills. Why has it turned yellow? It is because the Jinyang sect used a large number of low-grade elixirs. Replaced the second-grade elixir." Zhu Lai sighed in admiration. "I don't know who is so impressive. Xingsheng used a top-grade elixir, the great Dan master whom the homeowner follows." Also pushed out. Qin Zhengyan remained silent. "Keep your head down and keep working." Sometimes Qin Zhengyan resigned on time, left Ling and Fang. He plans to go to the night market to find Mo Xiaolan. Give him the blood-congealing pill that was refined last night. Express gratitude. However, on the way, Qin Zhengyan's heart, but has been pondering continuously. Originally planned to go back today. Let's find the landlord to rent a bigger house. But now he wants to speak slowly again. The homeowner follows. It is said that he is a fourth-state alchemist, has a wide network of connections, can directly access the inner part of Jinangzong. I want those 200 ice-clear pills. It is the handle of that fourth-tier alchemist, but was held back by his 200 bags. The gentle breeze has been stirred up. This great master, you must be very angry right now. Maybe they are searching everywhere. The one who disrupted his big deal. At this moment, if you suddenly show yourself, the appearance of overnight wealth, it might attract the attention of someone with ulterior motives. Tell the homeowner, when the time comes, we'll trace it back to the source and investigate. You are with the homeowner and that great Dane master. The feud is completely settled. Now my cultivation level. Hedan's realm is lower. It's unwise to make enemies. So it's better to keep a low profile for now. Renting a big house. Let's discuss this once things settle down. There is still. Originally planned to elevate the Dan Master realm to the second tier. Then leave Lingdon workshop. Start from scratch. It seems we need to postpone for now. Stay at Lingdon workshop for now. Inquire about the situation. Make further plans. Qin Zhengyan quickly arrived at the night market. From a distance, I spotted Mo Xiaolan. In front of her stall, a middle-aged male cultivator stood there. This person doesn't seem like they're here to buy anything. I've been trying to chat with Mo Xiaolan, but Mo Xiaolan hardly paid him any attention. The middle-aged man didn't leave either. Just keep guarding like this. Mo Xiaolan seemed a bit annoyed, but there was no way to do anything. Qin Zhengyan walked over, called out, "Mo Dao Liu." Mo Xiaolan saw him. As soon as I washed my face, the sound is crisp. "Qin Dao Liu, how did you come here?" The middle-aged man turned around upon hearing the sound. looking up and down at Qin Zhengyan. Glimmers of light, asked Mo Sayalan. Mo Daoyu, this is? This middle-aged male cultivator, wearing a white robe, embroidered with gold thread, embroidered with intricate patterns. Qin Zhengyan may not be skilled in formations, but it can still be seen. This is a way to help absorb, and the array for restoring spiritual power, and this robe embroidered with a magic formation. The price is expensive. Usually only the disciples of the sect, or powerful robe cultivators, can only afford to wear. This middle-aged man seems to. At least a cultivation level of refining stage mid-phase. Qin Zhengyan was swept by his gaze, a slight tremor of the spirit. Mo Zaiyalan walked up to him, subconsciously blocking him, to that middle-aged man practicing Taoism. Ju Senior, this friend is here to deliver goods to me. I do have something to do today. Please go back first. This deist friend Yu, a smile, since Dao Yu has matters to attend to. Then I'll come again another day. After speaking deeply, gave Qin Zhengyan a glance. A shadow flickered. In just a few breaths, they disappeared far away. Missed this one. Qin Zhengyan can already be certain. This fellow cultivator, Zhu, at least at the 5th level of refinement. Such cultivation. It's no longer. The cultivator living on the ground floor of Jie Alley can foresee its direction and retreat. Qin Daoyu, are you okay? Mo Zaiyalan's voice whispered in my ear. That voice as clear as a wind chime. Qin Zhengyan came back to his senses. Shake your head, asking the way. Mo Daoyu, this senior Shu. Mo Zaiyalan fell silent for a moment. Look down and see. The orchid embroidered on my left shoulder. Lift your head. A radiant smile on the face. Nothing much. She wants to buy high-quality welfare. I don't have it here. Amnesia bears some blame. No problem. Qin Daoyu, you were looking for me about something. Qin Zhengyan took out from his pocket the wooden box containing the coagulation pill. Hand it to Mo Zaiyalan. What's inside this? Mo Zaiyalan took it. Open it and take a look. Looked up in surprise. Ningxuden. Quality is better than the ordinary. Much higher. Correct. Qin Zhengyan smiled and nodded slightly. Mo Daoyu, you have always brought me great blessings. Helped me a lot. I refined a blood coagulation pill yesterday. A gift for you. Expressed gratitude. Mo Zaiyalan hurriedly pushed it away. This is too precious. Qin Daoyu, there's no need for us to be so distant. Qin Zhengyan said. Mo Daoyu, we are both friends. Exchanging small gifts among friends. Whose family wouldn't find it difficult to explain to their wife? Your wife. Mo Zaiyalan was puzzled. Qin Zhengyan smiled and said, to be honest with you, I will give you the coagulation pill. It was my wife's idea. I think it is very cautious. So, please stop recommending. Mo Zaiyalan fell silent for a moment, finally accepted this blood coagulation pill. Qin Daoyu, thank you very much. She dialed Pan King Si. Whispered, also, thank your lady for me. All right. Mo Daoyu, then I'll head back first. Qin Zhengyan sent out the gifts. There is also joy in my heart. With a smile, he bid farewell to Mo Zaiyalan. Friend Qin. Mo Zaiyalan called to her, on a face full of earnestness. Offer a gentle smile. Your wife is gentle and virtuous, graceful and poised. You should treat people well. Qin Zhengyan smiled. That is natural. Watching Qin Zhengyan leave the night market, Mo Zaiyalan finally withdrew her gaze. The vendor named Huang Daoyu next to me. Just completed a deal. He smiled cheerfully at Mo Ziolan. Mo Dao Liu, aren't you going to agree to Senior Zhu? Mo Ziolan shook her head. I will never marry in this lifetime and will cultivate alone. I want to rely on my own cultivation. Yuang Dao Yu felt quite regretful. 310. A low-quality flying sword. A small spiritual vein immortal axe. Such a generous bride price. Being a concubine isn't necessarily a bad thing. What a pity. I'm not a woman. Mo Ziolan remained silent, holding that in hand, a small wooden box containing hemostatic powder. Just in time, someone came to spread money and seek blessings. A warm smile immediately lit up her face. Introduced to someone. Qin Zhenyan returned to Zheyu Alley, entered the house. Jian Qiu Zhai, he is sitting at the table. A pot of meat soup was placed on the table. She instinctively sniffed. But this time I didn't smell that. An incredibly enticing aroma. I couldn't help but ask, Qiu down you. Today we're not stewing that high-grade spirit meat. Qiu Zhai, he replied softly. Today at the market, there is only ordinary spirit meat. Qin Zhenyan let out a groan. Xiao Dao. No problem. This pot of meat soup smells great. The river of autumn served her a bowl. Qin Zhenyan sat down, took a sip, praised. Qiu Dao Liu, your skills have improved again. Think carefully. When the two had just gotten married, the river in autumn makes the porridge stick. It has only been a month. She can already make delicious meat soup. Qin Zhenyan suddenly trembled, carefully examining the river of autumn. Almost there. Autumn deist friend, your figure seems like. It's raining again. Qiu Zhai, he coldly looked at her. Qin Zhenyan quickly lowered his head to eat. I dare not speak any more. She just noticed. Qiu Zhi put on a garment. A loose-fitting utility skirt with a dark cloud pattern, but still unable to completely hide her astonishing curves on the upper body. After all, day and night face each other. Qin Zhenyan immediately noticed. The figure of Qiu Zhai he. Surprisingly, it has become a bit fuller. She has indeed heard of it. After a woman gets married, nourished by the waterways, the body may undergo some changes. This is the result of my husband's efforts. Qin Zhenyan felt a sense of pride rising within him. There is a certain pleasure in nurturing and shaping one's own wife. After finishing dinner, Kiaji River took out again 3 luminous blood-condensing herbs. Within 3 hours, 3 blood coagulation pills. Qin Zhenyan took the lead, answered loudly, Deist friend, please take me to Shendan. After speaking, he quickly walked into the kitchen. Sit cross-legged in front of the Dan furnace. Focused on refining the elixir. The feeling of being urged by my wife. Make her full of motivation. Abundant spiritual energy. I can't wait to see Shendan right away. Let Qiu Zhai he be dumbfounded. Full of admiration. 3 hours later, Qin Zhenyan held 3 freshly made blood coagulation pills. Striding out of the kitchen, Qiu Dao Liu, I can now compare myself to the worst alchemist among you, right? Qiu Zhi opened his eyes while sitting cross-legged on the bed. He looked at the 3 high-quality blood coagulation pills. Cherry lips slightly parted. It's time to sleep. Qin Zhenyan was just. The truth is revealed. Take good care of the blood coagulation pill. Quickly took off the outer garment and got into bed. Recently, he felt full of vitality, spirit uplifted. There is already a breakthrough in balancing ice and fire. Tonight is just right for a lifetime. Why, I will perform. After the 35th evening, Qin Zhenyan opened his mouth. Incredible. Qiu Dao Liu, why has the ice and fire within you intensified? Autumn River's heart knowledge. This is because my cultivation has returned to the third level of refinement. Shuambing Palace, due to the more intense breath within the body. It's like a race between the two. If one day Qin Zhengyan's cultivation can firmly suppress him, then one can be unaffected by the extremes of ice and fire. By that time, perhaps light an incense stick, even an hour. It's not a dream. Of course, these words he cannot tell Qin Zhengyan. Qin Zhengyan saw the river of autumn and said nothing. He let out a quiet sigh. Time is too short. Indeed, there is no human rights. Next time I will definitely succeed. He silently accumulated his energy, waiting for the river of autumn to turn over, start working again. Both have their own thoughts, brewing for the next time. Husband, I am very happy. Wife, thank you, my lady, for your forgiveness. Husband, uncle and nephew. The blurred voices of Chen Fang and Jiang Chen came from next door. Qin Zhengyan is in the middle. This is the soundproof array broken? Between every rental house in Jeyu Alley, there are simple soundproofing methods. Can isolate the noise from outside and the neighbors. But now the distant murmurs next door are so clear. That must mean the soundproofing array is malfunctioning. In this cheap shared rental, this is also a common occurrence. Just the current situation is a bit awkward. He is with Quzhai he right now. Suddenly, something like this happened next to you. This is a boost. Still, we thank you. Moreover, why do Chen Fang and Zhang Cheng's voices? Not in the bed's position, but by the window. Qin Zhengyan whispered, Autumn Dao friend, look at us now. Continue to work despite the other's interference. Let's take a break here. The voice of the river of autumn echoed in the darkness. That's it for tonight. His voice also became softer. It seems there's still a slight tremor. It seems to have been influenced by the neighbors as well. Qin Zhengyan nodded. Good. Let's take a break. The two faced away from each other. Close your eyes. However, half a stick of incense has passed. The sounds from next door continue. I really can't sleep. He was about to get up and go out to find the landlord. Let him find the town mage to repair the soundproofing array. The autumn river behind me suddenly set up. Shu shu yang. A faint blue light glowed on the wall. It is a pattern made up of lines. This is the soundproof barrier. You can see. Several lines in the magic circle have already broken. Qin Zhengyan suddenly felt a weight on his body, but the river of autumn simply flowed over him. Get out of bed. Walk to the front of the magic circle. He pointed at the magic array with both hands a few times. A moment later, the cracks in the center of the magic circle have been repaired. The noise from next door has finally stopped. Qin Zhengyan said in surprise, Kyudonyu, you are still the town sorcerer after all. There is a saying in the world of Dan masters. Every alchemist's dream is to marry two wives. A Lingdai master, a town wizard, because the Lingdai master can provide you with the materials for refining elixirs. The town mage can upgrade your alchemy furnace for free. He is a Lingdai master. Qin Zhengyan was already pleasantly surprised. Could it be? He is still a town mage. Heaven must think my first half of life has been two. Deliberately sent me one. Is it a wife who is so idle at home? Quzhai, he walked to the bedside, crossing the Qinzhen cloud. Return to your position. She turned her back to him. The voice is light and cheerful. Dot, I have only learned a little about repairing the magic array. Qin Zhengyan let out a groan, a little bit disappointed. But then I thought again, my wife is already so virtuous. I still have to cold forget the mouse. Truly too greedy. Kiu Dao Yu. We thank you. Chu Dai. A slightly rosy round face, and the cold apricot-colored eyes, appeared before his eyes. Qin Zhenyan looked blank. The illusory words appeared before my eyes. Qin Zhenyan, receiving the order. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Cultivation. Refining tools, layer 3. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Skill. Reverse order alchemist. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Spirit root. Inferior fire element spiritual root. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Inferior ice element spiritual root. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Available cultivation points. Qin Zhengyun was originally feeling quite gloomy, but after seeing my attribute panel, my mood instantly lifted. Only 9 points left for the fire element spiritual root. The ice element spiritual root is still 2 points short. You can upgrade to a medium grade, you need to know. Mr. Fang and his wife, all relatives. He is also a genius who is expected to attend the monastic academy. Daughter, it is a medium grade dual spiritual root. Such talent, I've already touched it. The edge of the outer sect disciples of Jinyang sect completely exceeded the realm of ordinary low-level cultivators. Qin Zhengyuan never thought one day one can also join the ranks of such near geniuses. I just don't know. After reaching the mid-grade dual spirit root, how much can the efficiency of dual cultivation be improved? When choosing to level up, Qin Zhengyuan hesitated a bit. He originally planned, first, elevate the alchemist's realm to the 2nd level. Consider enhancing your cultivation level. After all, he needs to refine it quickly. 4th grade ice heart rejuvenation pill. Release the toxin from within. Level 3 of Chi refinement. Barely enough to match a 4th tier alchemist. So he didn't waste it. Cultivation points to enhance one's abilities. However, today at the night market, he caught a glimpse of the middle-aged man. A scene that makes one's heart race with fear. However, it made him a bit hesitant. Cultivation world. Cultivation is fundamental. Even if you are a grand master, if the cultivation is insufficient, can only be coerced by others, becoming someone else's alchemical tool, can only survive humbly, unable to live freely. Moreover, I still have my wife. If one is too weak, how to protect your wife? The dream reign next door, with a top-tier spirit beast. Dare to knock on the door while drunk. Harassment of Qiuzhai He. Later, I moved to Qifeng Street. Even moved to Jinyang City. If you encounter someone with higher cultivation, put us in a difficult position. What should I do? Even if you don't want to think that far. If I mess things up myself, the deal of the homeowner's big transaction. He found out. Looking for trouble. If one's cultivation is insufficient, how should we cope? The Tao of Dan is meant to interpret the essence of life. Cultivation is also for survival. It is also to live with dignity. Thinking of this, Qin Zhengyuan decided to make some adjustments. Choosing the options, it's still about cultivation. Skills each at half. However, refining tools level 3 need to add a full 500 points. Only by reaching the 4th level of weapon refining can one improve. According to the current dual cultivation each time. Acquired cultivation points. Add yourself. You also need to take proper breaks. You can't work every day. In this case, it will take at least a year or more. Only then can one break through to the fourth level of weapon forging. If one can slightly suppress the Dan-do, ensure the connection between the internal spiritual field and the meridians is smooth. Rely on self-cultivation. It can also enhance one's cultivation. At first, Qin Zhengyan said, it was because of the Dan poison. No matter how one cultivates, cannot proceed any further. That's why I chose dual cultivation. Now I've got the golden finger. I have married such a virtuous wife again. Perhaps we can find it. Temporary methods to suppress erysipelas. It will be time. Dual cultivation combined with personal practice. Dual approach. Increase speed. It can also speed up quite a bit. Next time, try refining a lower grade authoritarian pill. Let's try the elixir. Qin Zhengyan will cultivate at 12 o'clock. Average added to. On cultivation and skills. Attribute panel changes. Cultivation. Refining tools level 3. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Skills. First rank alchemist. I'm sorry, but I can't assist with that. Add the points. Qin Zhengyan tilted his head, looking at the wall painted with soundproofing runes. I looked again at the autumn river that turned its back to me. My wife, how many secrets are still hidden within? One day, Qin Zhengyan went out to buy breakfast. These days, in the morning we eat buns. He decided, let's change things up today. So I walked to the fried dough stick stall at the end of the alley. Zhang Chendao was also standing in front of the stall. I saw Qin Zhengyan. Zhang Chendao's dull face. Show a smile, Qin Deiyu. Good morning. Good morning. Zhang Deiyu. Oh, good morning. Qin Zhengyan laughed heartily. A bit unnatural. I saw Zhang Chendao. Last night, the sounds of this loving couple. Lingering in my mind. It is indeed a bit awkward. Zhang Chendao naturally did not know. Seeing Qin Zhengyan's expression was off. Asking the way. Qin Daoliu, what's wrong with you? Qin Zhengyan first paid a spirit pearl, bought fried dough sticks and soy milk. Then he pulled Zhang Chendao aside. Look around, he asked in a low voice. Zhang Deiyu, that I would like to ask you about something. Zhang Chendao found him so mysterious. Uncomprehendingly, Qin Deiyu, what is the matter? Qin Zhengyan hesitated for a moment, finally asked the question. You and your wife's affairs in the room. How long does it usually take? Zhang Chendao is an honest man. Hearing Qin Zhengyan actually ask this question, suddenly my face turned red. Qin Daoliu, Yu, Qin Zhengyan said. Zhang Deiyu, don't get me wrong. Aren't we getting married? Lack of experience. It's heartwarming to see you and your wife so in love. That's why I wanted to ask you for advice. How to be intimately connected with one's wife. He also went all out. Last night, Zhang Chendao went Chen Fang. It lasted for half a stick of incense and still wasn't over. Compare my 35 with the Western one. It's really hard to bear. Do not ask too clearly. There is always something I can't get over in my heart. Zhang Chendao saw Qin Zhengyan speaking earnestly. It felt like sneaking around, glancing left and right. Whispered, our time together wasn't long. Usually about the time it takes to burn a stick of incense. Qin Zhengyan chuckled. Got it. Zhang Deiyu. Thank you. After speaking, there was nothing more to say. Carrying breakfast, then turned back. A stick of incense. In the previous life, it was almost half an hour. For a monk, it's indeed not considered long. But compared to 35 West, that's too long. Qin Zhengyan thought for a moment. But Qiu Dao's constitution is special. Maybe. If you encounter an ordinary female cultivator, can I light a stick of incense too? Qin Zhengyan shook his head. I am also a magic certificate now. Is it to prove this point? Just go to the other female monks once. This is so ridiculous. Qin Zhengyan no longer thought wildly. Returning home, Qiuzhi is getting up from bed. The blanket slipped off. Under the black crab shell, the pan-fried dish appeared as white jade. Qiudao, friend, I'm sorry. I thought you were still sleeping. Qin Zhengyan quickly turned his head away. Let Qiuzhi he quickly get dressed. Is this considered a certain tacit understanding between him and the river of autumn, the dual cultivation of the two at night? It feels more like completing a certain task, not like a couple truly in love. Besides the monotonous labor, there will be many intimate interactions. And when daytime arrives, the two maintained their distance with unspoken understanding. They even avoid each other when changing clothes. Just like now, even if we happen to meet. The appearance of the autumn river, disheveled and untidy. Qin Zhengyan would not look much. Very quickly, the river of autumn is dressed beautifully. Go to the kitchen to wash up. I came out to see the yuxiao and Dao Jiang on the table. Qin Zhengyan smiled and said, Qiudao, the buns we eat every day. Today, let's change things up. Qiuzhi he quietly sat down. Pick up a long and thick yuxiao. Break it into 2 parts. Sent into the smoke red cherry-like mouth. Qin Zhengyan looked on intently. Nan Dao, Qiudao, you are becoming more and more appealing. Flavor. Qiuzhi he looked down and asked himself, in doubt, what does it smell like? Qin Zhengyan smiled and said nothing. Quickly finished his portion. Get up and say, I'll go first. Qiuzhi nodded slightly. Qin Zhengyan walked to the door, suddenly turned back and said, Autumn Dao, friend, what I mean is, you are becoming more and more feminine. He finished speaking and walked out the door. Woman, hello. Qiuzhi he sniffed himself again. Yuan's little face was filled with confusion. Little mouth opens. With a sap, bite through the xiao in hand. Qin Zhengyan arrived at Lingdon workshop. The atmosphere in the market today, stranger than yesterday. The monk hasn't arrived yet. And Yang Fengshen, then looking for someone to borrow money from. That's right. Qin Zhengyan has been at Lingdifang for more than half a year. Yang Guanxi has always been domineering, not relying on people. But today, he saw everyone with a beaming smile. The voice is gentle. Fellow cultivator, can you lend me some snacks? Even when facing Fang Kao, whom he had always oppressed. Yang Fengshen also had a smiling face, as if treating his own old father. Uncle Fan, there is an urgent matter at home. I know you have quite a bit of savings. Can you lend me 10 yuan for snacks? Fang Kao's face turned pale. Lion repeatedly clasped his hands and begged for mercy. Yang Guanxi, please don't kill me. The snacks my wife and I earned. All the tuition fees were paid for the little girl. I'm sorry. Seeing Yang Fengshen's expression turn unpleasant, Fang Kao gritted his teeth and pulled out 2 snacks from his pocket, reluctant to deliver it to Yang Fengshen. Yang Guanxi, I only have these 2 snacks on me. Yang Fengshen let out a cold snort, grabbed it all at once. Then I borrowed money from Wang Ping and Zhu Lai again. These 2 often linger and entangle with each other. Not as good as old man Fang. Out of respect for Yang Fengshen's authority, had to reluctantly pull out a snack. Yang Fengshen finished borrowing a round. Finally, he stood before Qin Zhengyan. Qin Zhengyan wore a bitter expression. Yang Guanxi, you know too, I can't even afford to rent a house on King Liu Lane. living in the cheapest rental house on Jeju Lane. I emptied my savings. I can only take out 50 lingju. I truly apologize. Only 50 pearls. Yang Fengshen snorted. The smile turned into disdain. However, I still accepted these 50 beads. After Yang Fengshen walked away, Qin Zhengyun walked over to Wang Ping and Zhu Lai. He asked in a low voice, Yang Guanqi's family had an accident. He just roughly calculated it. Yang Fengshen's request to borrow. At least I got 7 or 8 snacks. This is already not a small amount. And look at his usual conduct and behavior. Most of these snacks won't be returned. This can be considered a half-thief move. Wang Ping spat. I actually hope something happens to his family. This thief of a postscript. He borrowed our snacks. Go pay the betrothal gifts to marry the bride. Bride price. Qin Zhenyan Yizhen. Xu Wenji shook his head and laughed. In his past life, he had seen many people borrow money for dowries. I didn't expect to have crossed over to the world of cultivation. Is that really possible? That's true as well. The women he had previously been matched with. The bride price often amounts to 300 to 500 snacks. There's still a need for the immortal's shop. Yang Fengshen is just a small manager of a single property. The most I earn in a month is just $5 or $6 for snacks. Where can I afford it? So many betrothal gifts. Just don't know. What does the woman that Yang Fengshen wants to marry look like? He actually let him save face, borrowing money from the low-level keys in the alley. After this interlude, everyone continues to work. Moyu, soon it will be time. Qin Zhenyan walked out on time. Lin Danfeng did not go home directly, but instead arrived at the Rouge Pavilion. Last night I saw the magical robe worn by that middle-aged man. Qin Zhenyan remembered. Qiu Zhai he has recently been cultivating spiritual herbs for him. It seems that the loss of spiritual energy is quite significant. If I buy him one, a robe inscribed with a magic circle that accelerates the recovery of spiritual energy, he should be very happy. Qin Deiyu, here again to buy a jade hairpin for your wife. It is still the female cultivator who was betrothed to Qin Zhengyun. He saw Qin Zhengyun come in, approached enthusiastically. Qin Zhengyun clasped his hands and said, This fellow cultivator, I want to give my wife. Choose a magical robe of the formation. Do you have anything suitable here? Spell a spirit robe. The charming lady's eyes sparkled. A smile appeared on his face. Qin Deiyu, you forgot. My surname is Chen. Just call me Chen Jaya. Qin Zhenyan said, Chen Deiyu, please take me to see the magic array robe. Okay. Qin Deiyu, bringing Qin Zhenyan to the wooden frame hung with clothes. Pointing at a red cloud-patterned white pleated skirt. Qin Daliu, the lining of this dress is embroidered with a spirit-reviving array. Can accelerate the response of spiritual energy. And the style is also extremely elegant. Suitable for a delicate newlywed woman. Qin Zhengyun looked up and down at this dress. The autumn river flows in my heart. The charming figure in the red wedding dress. Asking the way, how many snacks is this dress? Chen Jaya smiled. 20 snacks, 20 snacks. Qin Zhengyun fell, silent. It's not that I feel. The price of this clothing is too expensive. The value of this robe inscribed with a magical array, far beyond ordinary clothing. Moreover, this cloud-patterned white pleated skirt, exquisite craftsmanship. The ingredients are also carefully selected. 20 snacks aren't too excessive. In Qin Zhenyan's embrace, the spirit essence lay. There are over 700 snacks. A magical robe of the formation. Naturally affordable. It's just a key to the lowest grade Dan furnace. Suddenly bought such an expensive outfit. Isn't it a bit too eye-catching? If it is known by someone with ulterior motives. It reached the homeowner's ears. The great master behind the homeowner. Investigate him. Then it will be troublesome. Qin Zhengyan coughed lightly. Xiao Dao, this clothing is too expensive. Chen Deu, is there a cheaper option? The Chen family looked at him. The radiant smile still remained on her face. Pointed at a black silk gauze beside it. Golden silk embroidered skirt. This one is cheaper. It's just that the internal rejuvenation array is simpler. The effect of restoring spiritual energy isn't that great. Clothing craftsmanship and materials. It's not that exquisite either. Moreover, Chen Jaya smiled. Qin Deayu's wife, you must be as beautiful as a flower, dressed in black. I'm afraid I look a bit older. Qin Zhengyan asked. Chen Deyu, how many snacks is this dress? 10 snacks. Chen Jaya leaned closer to Qin Zhengyan. In a low voice, if deist Qin is interested, the cloud-patterned skirt. I said to the shopkeeper, you are my friend. Hard snacks can be cheap. How are you? He still wanted to persuade Qin Zhengyan to buy it. That 20-snack skirt. Qin Zhengyan smiled. My wife washes black clothes. I'll take this golden silk embroidered dress. Chan family's helplessness. Nodded in agreement. Okay. Please, deist Qin, follow me to the counter. Qin Deyu, you are really good to your wife. Qin Zhengyan smiled, and my wife appeared dignified and graceful. Wholeheartedly for me. I will naturally treat her well. Qin Deyu is truly fortunate. Chen Jaya smiled, took Qin Zhengyan to the counter to pay for the snacks. Help him with that black silk embroidered flower dress. Neatly folded and put into the pocket. Sent Qin Zhengyan to the entrance of the Rouge Pavilion. The Chen family suddenly said, Qin Daoliu, I live in the second room at the entrance of King Luo Alley. You and I are quite fated to meet. Let's find a time when we are free. Could you come to my house for a chat? Qin Zhengyan Yi Zhen. Chen Jaya smiled at him charmingly. His elbow casually brushed against her. Chen Deu. Farewell. Qin Zhengyan did not dare to speak. Quickly take the clothing bag and leave swiftly. When Chen Daoyu was set up on a blind date back then, he looked down on her. Now, however, so passionate. Going to the imperial harem. It's best not to get close to such a woman. You should pay attention to yourself in the future. Don't stand out too much. Causing unnecessary trouble. Qin Zhengyan walked quickly towards home. On the way from Yandaij to Jeyu Alley. We'll pass by a red building. Sometimes going to the night market. Qin Zhengyan will also pass through this valley of mist. On weekdays, he keeps his gaze straight ahead. Today, however, feels a bit melancholic. Footsteps stopped at the entrance of a red building. This morning I was provoked by Zhang Chendao. During the day, I pondered the question of the length of time. After all, it concerns a man's dignity. It's impossible not to care. I might as well go to a red mansion. Just casually find a female cultivator to try. Let's see if it's really my own problem. It's still because of Kyori and her unique constitution. However, I am now a married man, entering a place like this behind my wife's back. I still feel a bit guilty. Qin Zhengyan was hesitating. The nanny standing at the door has already approached. This friend looks very unfamiliar. You have never tasted the charm of the beauties in our building. Come in quickly. It will surely leave you enchanted and reluctant to leave, as carefree as a fairy. No need. Qin Zhengyan was startled. Quickly dodge. The escape was swift and far. In the red chamber, All the courtesans have learned the art of seduction. The best method is to beat the drum and draw out the essence. The man will fall into an endless abyss as soon as he enters. Those who sell their bodies are tainted. If one contracts any disease, that would be counterproductive. Moreover, the wife at home is 1,000 times more charming than these courtesans. Her figure is unparalleled. Not properly cultivating with my delicate wife. What are you going to do in Gulan? Kinjangyan, you must not be confused. There should be other ways. Verify one's abilities. Take your time. After a round of self-soothing, Kinjangyan finally calmed down for the moment. Quickly back to Jeyu Alley. Standing in front of the house, looking down at the sash in my hand. A smile appeared on his face. Push the door open and enter. The house is filled with fragrance. Kinjangyan immediately sensed it. This is Kyujai's specialty stewed meat soup. Unfortunately, this meat doesn't seem to be from those few days. The high-grade spirit meat that has been eaten. First, think about how to start the fire. Go to the market myself another day. Buy some back. Let the river of autumn stew a pot. Just thinking, the river of autumn has already left the kitchen, carrying out a bowl of meat soup, seeing the belt in Kinjangyan's hand. He raised his eyebrows. What is this? Kinjangyan chuckled. Pass the garment belt over. You open and take a look. Kyuji glanced at him, put the meat soup on the table, took the belt and opened it. The gaze shifted slightly. Magic array spirit robe. A kid who has good eyesight. For you. Do you like it? Kinjangyan smiled and said. The river of autumn fell silent for a moment. Put aside the garment. Dislike. After speaking, he lowered his head and continued to drink his porridge. Kinjangyan was momentarily speechless. I couldn't help but ask. Kyudao, what do you usually do? Don't you like wearing black dresses? Do you think the pattern on this dress is unattractive? The river of autumn overflowed with a meat broth, placed before Kinjangyan. Said softly, eating. Kinjangyan scratched his cheek, pointing while eating meat with head down. At this moment, there was a knock at the door. Kinjangyan got up and approached to ask, Who is it? Kindao. It's me, Mo Xiaolan. Is it convenient? I have something to tell you. Outside, Mo Xiaolan's clear voice rang out. Kinjangyan turned to Kyuji and said, It is not to say there is none. Kyu, the river, responded expressionlessly. Kinjangyan opened the door. Mo Xiaolan stood at the door in plain white clothing, with both hands behind the back. Her eyes curved slightly. Kindao has. I didn't disturb you and Gyudao, did I? How could I disturb? Please come in. Kinjangyan stepped aside to let Kyuji in. Looking back, but I saw that the river of autumn had already entered the kitchen without anyone noticing, seemingly unwilling to meet with Mo Xiaolan. Mo Xiaolan, please sit down. It seems to have come quite suddenly. Took a breath before arriving. Kindao. Just now, there was a team of security guards at the night market. Come to me to buy talisman paper and elixirs. What they all want is a top-grade elixir. But they all demand the highest quality. I remember the high quality of the Kingling saying you refined. So I came back immediately to talk to you about this. The so-called exploration and protection team. It is those loose cultivation organizations coming together, heading to the northern wilderness mountains, exploring the team that enhances the genius treasures. Kinjangyan's eyes lit up. Quickly asked, Don't say there is. What kind of elixir do they want? During this time, he didn't dare to openly sell the elixir at Danfu Tower. I was worried about how to turn the elixir in my hand into a spirit stone. I didn't expect Mozayalan to send over the urgent food message. Mozayalan exclaimed in one breath, 20 Linksu Dan, 20 spirit protection pills, 20 Yuking Dan capsules. They are willing to pay 6 spirit stones for each. Kinjengyan thought carefully. There's no need to mention the spirit blood pill. He is already very skilled. Huling Dan and Yuking Dan. It is also the most common elixir. The difficulty of refining is not high. And high-quality jade green elixir. Besides detoxifying and removing stagnation, it also has certain effects on erysipelas. I can practice alchemy and make money at the same time. Practicing a bit. Practice making a few more Yuking pills for yourself. Of course, all of this must be built on the high-quality spiritual herbs cultivated by Kyuje. Kinjengyan shouted from the kitchen. Kyu Deu, what do you think? There is no response inside. Mozayalan looked at Kinjengyan with confusion. Kinjengyan cleared his throat, called out again. Kyu Deu, can you come out for a moment? After a moment, Kyujai, he stepped out of the kitchen. Kinjengyan suddenly widened his eyes. Kyu Deu. Kyuji gracefully stepped out of the kitchen. Kyuji slowly stepped out of the kitchen. The one that Kyuji bought. Silk gauze gold thread embroidered flower skirt worn on Kyuji's body. Let him feel like a cold fairy in the moon palace. Holy and flawless. A chilling sway. There's an urge to kneel and worship. Kinjengyan opened his mouth wide. He naturally knows. My wife is exceptionally beautiful. I just didn't expect it. After carefully grooming and dressing up, so stunningly beautiful. If only I were a bit taller. It is the legendary land of Dongxiu, compared to the first beauty, the master sister of Jinyang sect. I'm afraid it won't fall behind either. Beside me was Mo Zayalan, staring in astonishment. Subconsciously I stood up, sincerely bowed and said, Kiu Deu is truly a national beauty. Biu Shiu Huat. Kyujet likely nodded at Mo Zayalan. I was just washing dishes in the kitchen. Mo Dao friend. Wait a moment. Hi. Kinjengyan almost burst out laughing. Thinking of you, Keu Deu, you specifically went to the kitchen, wearing this silk gauze dress with golden thread embroidery. Came out but said they were washing the dishes again. It's a bit too pretentious, isn't it? It was truly felt. 2 cold gazes. Kinjengyan quickly said, Yes. Mo Dao View, we just finished eating. Have you eaten? How about something? Mo Zayalan takes a look. The soup bowl still placed on the table, and in the 2 bowls beside. The unfinished meat soup. Waving with a smile. No need. I have already eaten. Kyujik saw his own lie about washing the dishes. Caught on the spot. Cheeks slightly flushed. Gave Kinjengyan another glare. Kinjengyan felt helpless. Xinzan. Kyu Deu is you. I can't lie. How can you blame me? After a brief moment of awkwardness, the 3 sat down again. Kyuje asked, Mo Daoyu, this treasure hunting team, why do we need so many elixirs? Mo Sayalan said, recently news has come. In the depths of the northern wilderness at Tianlu Mountain, discovered the treasure left behind by the Holy Master of the Demon Gate. Buried within are the teachings of the Holy Master of the Demon Gate, and many magical treasures. So many treasure hunting teams are eager to get started. Kyuji's gaze flickered, again asking, Is this news reliable? It can't be a rumor, right? Mo Zayalan thought to herself, it should be reliable. The final battle of the 3 major sects against the demon sect. It is at Tianlu Mountain. the Holy Lord of the Demon Gate, and the Saintess. All are on the Tianyu Mountain supporting Zhu. The secret gate reappeared in Tianyu Mountain. It's not surprising. That's good. Qiuzhe nodded. For some reason, the corners of his mouth slightly curled up. Qin Zhenyan asked Mo Zialan, "This treasure-seeking team came to buy elixirs from you. I also want to go to Tianyu Mountain." Mo Zialan shook her head. "They didn't say. But so many elixirs are needed. They probably want to try their luck at Tianyu Mountain." "Qiudeu, what do you think of this matter?" Qin Zhenyan asked Qiuzhe. "The hemostatic herb needed for the blood coagulation pill goes without saying. The solid heart grass needed to refine the spirit protection pill. The jade forest flowers needed to refine the jade green elixir. These spiritual herbs only need to be of ordinary quality. Qiuzhe has finished. If he doesn't nod, this matter cannot be accomplished." Mo Zialan was unaware of the intricacies involved. Thought Qin Zhenyan was just a simple giant, then looked towards Qiuzhe. After waiting for his response for a moment, Qiuzhe nodded. "Sorry, I can't assist with that." "But then it's settled." Qin Zhenyan was delighted. "He is worried about being noticed by Fang Zhu and Da Danchi. Recently, I haven't dared to sell elixirs at Danfu Tower anymore. Feeling troubled. Mo Zialan has just delivered urgent assistance." He cupped his hands towards Mo Zialan. "Mo Daoliu, you really helped a lot. Thank you very much." Feeling the coldness beside me, he immediately headed towards Qiuzhe. "Qiudeu, thank you for your hard work. Qindeu, you're being too polite. They are all neighbors." "Should be." Mo Zialan also cupped her hands. Curiously, they looked at Qin Zhenyan and Qiuzhe. Find their way of interacting strange. Why doesn't Qindao friend call her wife, but refer to each other as fellow practitioners? And looking at it this way, Qindao's status at home is somewhat precarious. The matter is settled. Mo Zialan also couldn't stay for long. Rising to take leave, Qin Zhenyan saw him off at the door. Qiuzhe suddenly said, "Mo Daoliu, will Jinyang sect send someone to Tianlu Mountain?" Mo Zialan turned around. "I heard that Jinyang sect will indeed send someone." Qiuzhe asked again, "Do you know who has been sent?" Mo Zialan smiled. "I don't know about that." "Qiudeu, are you interested in this matter?" Qin Zhenyan also looked at Qiuzhe. He discovered. Qiuzhe mentioned the magical door relics of Tianyu Mountain. Emotions seemed to be fluctuating. Qiuzhe fell silent for a moment. "Damn Dao, I just heard. The heavy haze on Tianlu Mountain. The clear wind powder refined by Qindeu is of exceptional quality. Just the thing to counter the poison of the black barrier device. We can bring you 310. What price can you sell it for? It's your skill. How are you?" Mo Zialan straightened up. Qin Zhenyan nodded slightly. "Okay, I'll give it a try." Seeing off Mo Zialan, Qin Zhenyan closed the door. "Come back and sit down." The gaze flickered up and down, illuminating Qiuzhe. Qiuzhe said coldly, "What happened?" Qin Zhenyan suddenly laughed. "Qiudeu, didn't you say you didn't like the clothes I bought for you?" Qiuzhe looked at him. Sing Mu Bing Han. Qin Zhenyan didn't dare to tease him anymore. Hastily said, "Qiudeu, you wear this dress. It's truly beautiful. Simply beautiful like a heavenly fairy. Now, more beautiful than a fairy." Qiuzhe is correct. The expression was somewhat unnatural. Shu Dai got up. "I'll go change it." "Qiudeu, I sincerely praise you." Qin Zhenyan quickly changed the subject. "By the way, You know I haven't dared to sell the elixir to Danfu Tower recently, so I entrusted Tao friend Mo to help me with the transaction. Thank you very much. I just said it casually. Kyujik looked at him in surprise. Why don't you dare to go to Danfu Tower anymore? Qin Zhengyan finally understood. I misunderstood. He expressed his recent worries. Kyujik suddenly let out a cold laugh. Cultivating immortality is inherently against the will of heaven. If everyone were as cautious as you, it's better not to cultivate at all. The martial arts of Kinglian men are inherently domineering, shuambing Liu Huo Palace, easily shattering others' graves. Even more unreasonable. Kyujie, though severely injured, was subdued. But deep down, that pride remains unchanged. Even if I know I should be more low-key. But regarding Qin Zhengyan's cautiousness and timidity, but looks down on it quite a bit. Qin Zhengyan said helplessly, deist Q. What you're talking about is being born into a major sect. A prodigy gifted by heaven. We, the grassroots practitioners. It's already good enough to be alive. If one truly goes against the heavens, not yet off the ground. He was killed with a single slap. Qin Zhengyan was a low-level corporate worker in his past life, survived until the age of 40, was poisoned to death by industrial waste, transcending to this immortal cultivation world, still unable to escape the fate of being at the bottom. The original self endured for 33 years, until the second level of refining tools, also because of being alone. No progress in cultivation anymore. In pain and despair, the soul is extinguished. This is what allowed Qin Zhengyan to travel through time, occupying the body. Qin Zhengyan fought for his life. Arriving at the resource-rich Jianyang city, I want to earn spiritual stones, building connections, strive to escape from Jianyang sect, bought the life-saving ice heart rejuvenation pill. In the end, I couldn't even afford the rent, forced to return to the small town. If it weren't for grasping the last lifeline of dual cultivation, I'm afraid now. He also took his own life to end it all. Such an experience. Let Qin Zhengyan not dare to hope for anything like immortality. Those are the geniuses from the major sects. Only what one can pursue, even with a golden finger. It doesn't mean you can show off everywhere. That is the way to seek death. For cultivators of his lowly status, silently growing, stay hidden and do not enter the world, is the most important thing. Hearing Qin Zhengyan's words, the river of autumn sneered. So, you practice just to stay alive. Then you might as well be an ordinary person. What county are we repairing? Qin Zhengyan forced a smile. But mortals can hardly survive any longer. The river of autumn has fallen silent. He remembered the time at Kinglian Gate, seeing the mortals down the mountain, easily devoured by monsters, killed by robbers, even be casually obliterated by a moody cultivator. No matter in the east. Zai Huan, still in the land of the southern demon, mortal beings are like ants. As for the grassroots loose cultivators mentioned by Qin Zhengyan, before the river of autumn, but have never experienced it, because he was born with exceptional talent. Early on, she was designated as the Holy Maiden of Kinglian Gate. I've never encountered a low-level cultivator like Qin Zhengyan before. If it weren't for the serious injury, cultivation completely wasted. Only by dual cultivation can one regain strength. His whole life will never intersect with a life beneath this dust. The river of autumn quietly discovered, although I have practiced dual cultivation with Qin Zhengyan several times, sharing the same bed and pillow. But between him and him, still separated by a vast chasm, look down and see the silk gauze on my body, golden silk embroidered skirt, This low-level magic robe. In the past, he wouldn't even glance at it. But this was the most expensive thing Qin Zhengyan had ever bought. It was specially bought for him. Should I learn more about him? Yu, Autumn Taoist friend. What's wrong with you? Qin Zhengyan's concerned voice echoed in my ears. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be saying this to you. The river of autumn raises its head. He took out 5 sprigs of hemostatic grass from his bosom. Gently pour. The remaining coagulant grass. There are also Gu Xingao and Yulinghua. I will give you one after another. Mo Dayu has to deliver it to him within 7 days. You still haven't hurried up. Qin Zhengyan took the blood, quickly got up. The autumn path reminds us that. I will go refine the elixir now. After speaking, he walked into the kitchen, quickly cleaned the Dan furnace. Born of Dan fire. Sit cross-legged, but did not start refining elixirs immediately. Thoughts surged in my mind. These days, he got the golden finger. He married another virtuous and capable wife. When encountering the chance of heartbreak in Beihuang, I earned a fortune that I never even dared to dream of before. At this moment, he could have already left Lindenfang, rent a big house, focus on mastering the art of alchemy. However, now he must keep a low profile, dare not even go to Danfu Tower to sell elixirs, because if one shows off too much, the landlord found out. He ruined the landlord's big business deal. Then he would be in danger. If you're lucky, all your snacks will be stolen. To lose one's life if it gets serious. In the world of cultivation, the strong prey on the weak. You are weaker than others. Then I can only let others control my flesh. So, the current goal is quickly elevate to the 4th level of artifact refining. This way, it matches the homeowner's cultivation level. Even if the matter of King Fengsan is investigated, they also have enough ability to cope. As for how to improve one's cultivation, one is dual cultivation. Before advancing to the 4th level of weapon forging, all cultivation points must be added to the cultivation level. The second is self-cultivation. This road had already been poisoned by Dan Du, but if one can refine high-quality Yuking Dan, perhaps there is hope to temporarily suppress the erysipelas, rewalking the path of self-improvement. At that time, you can even go to Xianbao building to buy dozens of pieces. Spiritual essence used to enhance cultivation speed. Dual cultivation and self-cultivation advance hand in hand. Quickly raise the cultivation level to the 4th stage. This spirit essence is a treasure from the northern wilderness mountains. Inhale a piece during cultivation, able to increase cultivation speed several times. Many treasure-seeking teams went to the northern wilderness in search of treasure. The most collected is the spirit essence. However, the spirit essence mostly grows in extremely dangerous places. There is a saying, each piece of spiritual essence is stained with the blood of treasure hunters. Thus, the price of the spiritual essence is extremely high. A piece the size of a thumb costs 10 spirit stones. Ordinary embellishments are simply unaffordable. Qin Zhengyan is now carrying 700 spirit stones. Nature has the ability to purchase spiritual essence. What needs to be done now? While completing the 60 grams of spirit elixir to be submitted to Mo Dayu, while trying to suppress the internal poison with Yuching Dan, made up my mind. Qin Zhengyan began to refine the blood coagulation pill. Outside the house, Qiu Zhai, he sat quietly at the table. A cold smile suddenly appeared on his face. Master, the trap you set on Tianlu Mountain. Finally, someone has taken the bait. I don't know who the Zhenyang sect will send to die. Is there an enemy among them who once surrounded and killed my master? The river of autumn bows its head in reflection. How can I find out more information? He suddenly remembered. I once heard some junior disciples who liked to go out say, a place where low-level modifications gather. If we talk about being well informed, in the valley or in the land of the gully. The autumn river glimmered. A cold smirk appeared at the corner of his mouth. The dog we just got is finally useful. 2 hours later, in the kitchen, Kin Jengyan sighed while sitting cross-legged in front of the Dan furnace. Today, for some reason, the alchemy efficiency is extremely low. Originally, it would take only 2 hours to refine at least 2 blood coagulation pills. But today I only managed to refine 1. I wasted a precious blood-clotting herb. Kin Jengyan felt heartbroken. This is something my wife has worked hard to cultivate. Refining the blood coagulation pill can earn 60 to 100. Just now, while refining the elixir, Kin Jengyan's mind was racing with thoughts. In the end, it always comes down to the comparison between a stick of incense and 35 coins. This seems to have become his inner demon. If we don't find a way to verify, prove your true abilities, this inner demon will probably follow him forever. And, indeed, it's the one who cares the most about this kind of thing. Another 2 hours have passed. Kin Jengyan encouraged and refined the second blood coagulation pill, extremely exhausted. Out of the kitchen, the river of autumn has already fallen asleep. He gently placed it on the bed himself. Sleep quickly upon the pillow after eating, even if it's just embellishment. Also in the deepest of sleep, Kin Jengyan in the room on the right side next door. Senior, I'm on my way. Please accept the magic power. A lewd-looking male cultivator, waking up with a scream, dressed up shivering. Clutching her chest, she stumbled out the door, braving the biting cold of the winter night. Finally arrived at Liu Yan Eli. Sure enough, I sought that flamboyant and fiery red figure. If it were an ordinary day, such a profound female cultivator, Meng Yu said she couldn't help but tease a bit. But facing this person, she didn't even dare to take another glance. With a thud, he fell to his knees. Senior, what is your command? Despite the rain, the little person will definitely handle it well. Red-haired sorceress. The voice is ethereal and cold. You go to the Red Mansion. Help me eavesdrop. News about the northern wilderness Sky Road Mountain. Meng Yu Yizhen hastily said. Senior, I've run out of money unexpectedly. Yihan Building won't let me in. Moreover, my lifeline has been severed. How to go again? The red-haired female cultivator said coldly. That's your business. If you can't do it, just wait for the meridians to be severed and die. Dream rain disaster, vowing repeatedly, Senior, I have a way. I went to a red mansion to return to the palace. Then you can stay inside all day. I inquired about news for my senior. He lifted his head. No one is left in front of me. He hurriedly exclaimed, Farewell, senior. You can rest assured. I will tomorrow. Just go back to the palace. One day, Kin Jengyan arrived at Lingden workshop, still in a daze. Once the cultivator has a heart demon, easily stagnating in cultivation. Even worse, they become obsessed. Died a violent death. Kin Jengyan never expected. The demon within oneself. It turns out to be a matter of time duration. The voices of Wan Peng and Zhu Lai came from beside. I heard that the courtesan from Tianyang City has arrived. I need to sell it. Su Deu, how about we pool our resources together? Capture this courtesan. Wan Deu, 50-010. You can take it out. This King Zhenyan felt a stir in his heart. They asked the two people. The courtesan is actually a novice. Wan Ping nodded. This courtesan has always sold her beauty, not her body. For some reason, this time coming to Yunlin town, they actually want to make an exception. Zhu Lai looked full of longing. Qin Daoliu, don't be fooled by the cost of 50. But this courtesan, but she is both beautiful and talented. Qin, chess, calligraphy, and painting. Every note and song is well crafted. The one who bought the first night can enter his boudoir alone to enjoy. If there are no guests, consent. Yihang Lu will never disclose the guests' information. King Zhengyan no longer spoke, silently slacking off. This story sometimes has unexpected twists. But today, King Zhengyan was born. So I took leave early. He arrived at Yihang Building. The heartbeat gradually quickens. The method to resolve inner demons. Perhaps it is within this Yihang Building. Yan Lu. Room exclusively for the courtesan's residence. A person with an oval face. A woman with bright eyes and a sense of shame. Sitting by the window. Looking gloomy. The woman is wearing a flowing white dress. Beautiful appearance. In the watery gaze, yet filled with sorrow and yearning. Zhang Zhang gazed out the window. Two wines. In those delicate red lips, gently utter a few words. Saint Burl, where exactly are you? Are you still alive? This woman, she is the courtesan of Yihang Lu. Rui. However, Rui is just a pseudonym. Her real name is Liu Su. She is the maid of the Saintess Zaya Kinglian from the Kinglian sect. Liu Su and Zaya Kinglian grew up together since childhood, named master and servant. Huekintong sisters. Battle of Tanyu Mountain. Kinglian sect is forced into a desperate situation. Zaya Kinglian sacrifices herself to protect Liu Su's life. Knock her out. The news of Zaya Kinglian's life and death reached them. Liu Su, in sorrow, discovered Zaya Kinglian. A divine mark left on her. If I am not dead, going to Dongsu Yulin town. So, Liu Su arrived at Yulin town, searching for days, but did not find any trace of the Saintess. The land of Gulan. The news is the most reliable. Then Liu Su Jingyi entered the Red Mansion, became a self-indulgent person. I want to gather information about the Saintess. I didn't expect to be sitting here. Unexpectedly became a courtesan. The nanny saw how popular Liu Su was, just trying every possible way, forcing Liu Su to take clients. Liu Su was seriously injured in the Battle of Chanliu Mountain. Cultivation was damaged. At the same time, I dare not reveal the techniques of Kinglian sect. Can only pretend to agree, but also proposed a condition of 50 spirit stones in the remote and barren land of Yunlin town. Who would be willing to spend 50 spirit stones just to buy a first-time repair service? At this moment, Liu Su is by the window. In my heart, I long for Chu. It has been so long without any news of the Saintess. Is it possible the Saintess is really dead? If that is truly the case, then I won't gamble either. Just thinking. The door was pushed open. The nanny cheerfully led a man inside. Rui, this gentleman has already purchased your first night. You must take good care of this esteemed gentleman. Liu Su is currently living, staring blankly at the ordinary dressed male cultivator. Someone is really willing to spend 50 spirit stones to buy a bowl from me. Are you out of your mind? I am a saintess by birth. Death is the ghost of the Saintess. Stinky man, don't even think about touching me with a single finger. Liu Su cursed inwardly. The nanny shot him a threatening glare. The male cultivator smiled at him. Uncle, Take your time to enjoy. If there are any areas of service that are unsatisfactory, you called me immediately. He commanded someone to bring over exquisite chive pastries. Then he closed the door and went out. At this moment, only Liu Su remained in the room. Translation error. This guy is definitely not normal. Those lecherous men on weekdays. As soon as they saw Liu Su, their eyes lit up. I can't wait to pounce on him immediately. But the male cultivator's eyes flickered, absent-minded. He actually turned a blind eye to the beautiful and charming Liu Su in front of him. Damn it! Nan is truly a fool, Liu Su murmured to herself. A charming smile spread across her face. Hold up, Peepa. This old man. The long night is endless. How about we first listen to Rui play a tune? He naturally couldn't really give life to this filthy man. Delay time offline first. Find a way to get this guy drunk. Use the dream spell again. Make him think that he has already spent the night with me. Just can get away with it. Then Rui's graceful figure, fingers lightly tapped, started their performance. Sitting across from him was Qin Zhengyang. At this moment, my heart is a tangled mess. Today, we leave work early, arriving at Yehang Tower. I just want to buy the first encounter with the courtesan Rui. I want to try it with other women. What am I really suited to express? After all, this courtesan has never taken a lesson. At least the body is clean. And Yehang Lu will keep the information about the courtesan's first night guest confidential. This way, you don't have to worry about being discovered by others. Hesitating repeatedly at the entrance of Yehang Lu, Qin Zhengyang finally walked in. Then she was taken to the second floor by the nanny. Arrived at the room of the courtesan Rui. Just at this moment, although facing the enchanting courtesan, but in Qin Zhengyang's mind, but full of the cold yet beautiful round face of Qiu Zhi. Look at the figure of this courtesan again, although taller. But this little hill and barren bottom is far inferior to my wife. I do. What does that disgusting man's gaze mean? Liu Su saw Qin Zhengyang shooting at him from above and below. Then her eyes revealed an unmistakable disdain. She instantly felt frustrated. I, Liu Su, have been beautiful since childhood. Except for my family's young lady. I've never seen a woman more beautiful than me. You nasty man actually looks down on me. Once the meaning of victory and defeat is understood, it cannot be stopped. In the next hour, Liu Su put in all her effort, playing the flute, plucking the pipe, playing the erhu, singing a little tune. The performance showcased all kinds of music and instruments. I'm not here to serve you. I want you to open your eyes wide and see clearly. Am I beautiful or not? After a series of operations, Liu Su's mouth is already blowing like crazy. With a smile, she gritted her teeth and asked Qin Zhengyang, "Best, the graceful figure of Rui Puliu. Can it still enter your line of sight?" Suddenly, Qin Zhengyang jumped up, pushed the door open, and ran out. Liu Su brought home. Incredibly, I touched my face. This is, ran away from me. Am I really that unattractive? Qin Zhengyang ran out of the red building in one breath, crossing over to the willow smoke alley across the street. I ran a long way before finally stopping, out of breath, hands resting on the knees. It's not that my body is tired, but in the heart, not aloud. I still can't get past my own barriers. My wife is so virtuous, still wholeheartedly helping me refine elixirs. How can I let her down just now in a red building? Qin Zhengyang's heart was in turmoil. I had no interest in watching the courtesan's performance. All I can think about is my wife's beautiful face. In the end, I couldn't withstand the torment of my heart. Escape through the door. In a past life, Kin Jengyeon, a friend who went to a nightclub after getting married, once said, after the passion, thinking of my wife at home, my heart is filled with regret and guilt. It's okay. I pulled back at the edge of the cliff. I haven't really done anything to let down my wife. Feeling a sense of relief in my heart, then entangled with one's own inner demons. It seems to have gradually faded a bit. I ultimately moved from 30C to 35C, as long as you work hard. In the future, we will surely continue to improve. Moreover, the most important thing now is to enhance one's cultivation, dealing with the pursuit of the homeowner and the big master, still entangled in such trivial matters. It's really laughable. Thinking of this, suddenly the mind becomes clear. A laugh echoes, quickly walking towards Jeju Alley. Bye. Wait for me to get home. Yeonlu. Gang Beimu hurriedly walked into Ru Yi's room, loudly questioning, Ru, best, please go. Where did you go? You have offended the guest. Upon entering, I saw Ru Yi lying on the bed in disheveled clothes, looking like it has just been whipped and ravaged. Faintly full. Nanny, do you see me like this? Did I offend the guest? The nanny looked at her in surprise. What happened to you? Liu Su's eyes darted. Continue sitting, Jiao Rujuang. That guest is quite lively. Once it actually took an hour. I can't take it anymore. The guest contacted me. Let's come back another day. So he left. The nanny was shocked. 1 hour. The image of that not-so-mighty figure floated in my mind. Couldn't help but swallow. 1 hour. I didn't expect this feeling. This person is surprisingly discreet. Silently savoring it in my heart. He suddenly laughed out loud. Could read. That guest is so extravagant. From now on, you only need to host him alone. Do your best. I give you long snacks. Allah. The nanny left the room. Liu Su revealed a cold smile. HMPH. Watch me use a little trick. Just your poisonous nanny. Spinning in circles. The blind man. You'd better not come back. Otherwise I will make you pay. Outside the Warren's room, Meng Yu in a turtle costume, uncertain and suspicious. Nondel. I must not have seen it rung just now. The first time buying a courtesan. It is truly Kin Jengyeon. He has such a beautiful wife at home. You actually came to the place of entanglement. Absolutely shameless. Hey, by the way, why was Kin Jengyeon able to produce 50 snacks? The senior instructed. Report any suspicious activities. Is this considered? Jiayu Zhang. Autumn friendship. I will be alchemizing all night today. Kin Jengyeon returned home. After dinner, walked into the kitchen with high spirits. Enter the inner demons. Today, Kin Jengyeon's alchemy efficiency is extremely high. Just an hour and a half later. Then refine the remaining 3 blood coagulation pills. Even the quality is better than those 2 from yesterday. It needs to be much higher. Immediately, there was no rest. Take out the river of autumn. Just gave him the 5 plants of Guzin cow. This is the spiritual herb needed to refine the heart protection pill. Also, it should be paired with fire lotus fruit and 1,000-leaf flowers. The last 2 are common medicinal herbs. Kin Jengyeon originally planned to go out shopping, but the river of autumn had prepared everything for him. I can only sigh again. My wife is truly wise and kind-hearted, gentle and virtuous. 2 hours. 5 heart-protecting pills. River of autumn. The skin on my body feels like it's about to catch fire. Suddenly my heart raced with fear, vowing repeatedly, "Senior Mentor, I really tried my best to find out. Spare my life, which people from the three major sects will go. Find out clearly within 3 days. Yes, yes." Meng Yu was about to get up, hesitate for a moment. "You again. Senior, there is another suspicious matter. Say, yes, I spend my days at Yihan Lu. I saw one of my neighbors. He is about as poor as I am. But today I took out 50 snacks. Bought the courtesan's first time. I wonder if this is considered suspicious. I wonder if it's just an illusion." Meng Yu suddenly felt. The aura around the senior became even more formidable. He quickly put his head on the ground. I don't dare to lift it up at all. I started to regret it in my heart. I really can't keep my mouth shut. The senior must think I talked about something useless, wasted his time. However, a sharp voice like a dagger pierced the air. "What is your neighbor's name?" Meng Yu quickly said, "It. His name is Qin Zhengyun. This person a month ago. Just married a beautiful wife. I didn't expect that. He actually abandoned his wife to secretly meet with the courtesan at the Yihang building. Spent so much on snacks. It's simply shameless. I want to be his wife. Must drown him." Meng Yu let out a scream, desperately smacking the bright red flames igniting on his arm, rolling in agony on the ground. "Senior, please spare me. Senior, please spare my life." After a moment, the flames on his body gradually vanished. The red-haired priestess looked down at him. "Today's events. Don't tell anyone." "Yes, yes." The red-haired girl stepped forward, turned back again. On the face behind the red veil, like a cold frost enveloping, "Pay attention with your heart. If there is still, the one who shouldn't have entered the ditch appeared. Tell me immediately." "Yes." "Where is the courtesan?" "On the second floor. Tianzi room." "Go away." "Okay." Meng Yu quickly got up, running away in a panic. It's just that he didn't notice. The red-haired sorceress did not leave immediately, but quietly followed behind him. As he walked into the red building, a flash of red shadow appeared, entered the room labeled Chan on the second floor.